What's up, people? This your boy David from Hayes Firearms Academy, and today I wanted to make a video addressing something that I get asked all the time, which is, how do I fly on a commercial airplane and take my firearm? I'm gonna show you. So, the main two things that you need in order to take your firearm with you when you fly on a commercial airplane is one, a TSA approved box or case, and two, TSA approved locks. Now, when it comes to the case, this is not, as you can see, this is not one of the flimsy cases that you get your firearm in. It's not a Glock case, anything like that. It's similar to the Pelican cases. It's really tough. It can sustain a lot of damage. But one of the things that TSA looks for when inspecting your case is they want to make sure that you cannot pry this case open. Once it's closed and latched, they want to make sure it can't be easily pried open. The next thing they want to look for is holes for you to be able to lock this case, because once it's in your bag, it has to be locked. That's where these come in handy. These are combination locks. TSA loves combination locks. Put these on. Once your firearm's inside, we're going to get to that. When you put these on, you lock them, you're good to go. TSA's motto is, if it's a combination lock, then the only person that can get into that case is a person with the combination, which should only be... What I typically do is this. This is how I usually travel with my case. On the top layer, I have my firearm. Now, as you can see, I have a cable lock going through it. This is not required. However, they do want to make sure that the firearm is not loaded with any rounds. So it's a good practice to not only just lock the slide open, but I like to throw a bright red lock in there just so they can see. Not only is this weapon empty, but you can't even put a magazine in it if you wanted to. So that's typically how I have it, you know, top layer like that. Now, my bottom layer is where I have my magazines. And I do keep them loaded, but you just need to make sure that the magazines are separate from the firearm. Do not have them in the firearm. Sometimes they're going to want to see it. Sometimes they're going to ask you to clear them. Sometimes they won't. Good practice. Keep them separate. Put a cable lock in this. They can see it's clear. They can see it's empty. Shouldn't have any problem. When I close it, latch them. Take my combination locks. Boom. Put one on this side. One on this side. At that point, my firearm and ammunition is secure. It's ready to go in my checked bag. Okay, so when you arrive at the airport, please don't walk through the airport holding this. Even with it locked up, you don't want to walk through the airport just holding this. You also do not want to walk through the airport with this in your carry-on bag. This, from your house, goes into your checked luggage. Just like that. That's in your checked bag. This is what you take into the airport. This just looks like a regular check bag, which it is. But this is how you are to enter the airport premises with your firearm. Not holding the case, and definitely not in the bag that you're going to take onto the aircraft. You actually arrive at the airport. There's a procedure that you have to go through. First things first, I don't care if you did the pre-check-in, you got your ticket, your electronic ticket, doesn't really matter. You have to go to the customer service desk for whatever airline you're flying. And you need to tell whoever the person is at the desk these words: I have a firearm to declare. Once you tell them that, they're going to automatically understand, okay, there's a certain few steps that they got to go through. One of the things that they may do, this kind of varies depending on the airport that you're at. Each airport is going to want to check the firearm. They're going to want to visually see it. So you're going to have to take your bag up there. You're going to have to open it up. Now, this is the part that varies. Some airports want you to actually open the case for the firearm. And then that's when they'll look at it. They'll see that it's unloaded, blase, blase. Some airports will just want to see the case. Regardless, follow the steps that they tell you. Each airport is going to definitely give you a fluorescent colored form. It's a little bitty card. It's called a declaration form. What you're going to do, fill out a couple pieces of information, your contact information, everything. And it's basically the form declaring that you are flying and taking responsibility for this firearm. That form is then going to go with the firearm. Sometimes they put it inside the case. Sometimes they just tape it onto the top of the case. Varies from airport to airport. Either way, that form has to be with the firearm. The firearm at that point is going to get put back into your carry-on case, carry-on luggage. At that point, your firearm has to go through TSA check. Now, that again varies depending on the different airports. Sometimes they will walk you and your bag over to TSA. They'll scan it. They'll do these different checks on it, whatever. They're going to check for explosives, whole lot of other fun stuff. Cool. Once you clear that, they'll send your bag onto the airplane like any other bag. Some airports don't necessarily walk you over with the bag. Some of them will take the bag and they'll tell you hang around in this general area for like 10 or 15 minutes because TSA is going to check it. And if for whatever reason they find something that's questionable or something that they want to ask you a question about, they want you to be close so you can just come over and answer the questions. At that point, once you clear, your bag goes onto the airplane with the rest of the checked luggage. No problem. Get to wherever your destination is. Your bag's going to come down the conveyor belt. You get it. You leave. Do not open it. Do not open the case anywhere on airport property. If you follow those steps from beginning to end, you'll have no issue with flying with your firearm. It's a little bit different when it comes to rifles. We'll do another video about that later. But as far as flying with at least 1 to 2 handguns, depending on how big your case is, same exact thing. One thing to keep in mind when it comes to flying with ammunition. TSA only allows you to travel with up to 11 pounds of ammunition. That could still be in the box, in the original box, whatever the case, but 11 pounds is the max. So you're not going to be able to fly with 300, 400, 500 rounds. Just not going to be able to do it. So keep that in mind. Be mindful of how much ammunition you're carrying. Some will check, some won't, but the limit is 11. So let's do a recap. Big thing, TSA approved case. That's going to be a hard case, a tough case, not flexible, not flimsy. Make sure it has holes in it for locks. You want to have at least 2 locks. You want to have a TSA friendly lock, all right? Combination is better. It's a bit more secure according to TSA. You want to make sure your firearm is unloaded so there is no rounds in it, no magazine in it, not even an empty magazine. Leave the firearm clear. I choose to put a cable lock in mine. You don't have to, but it can't hurt. It actually can help. Make sure your ammunition is separated from the firearm. Lock the case. We're going to put our locks on the case and lock them. Put them in our checked bag, not the carry-on, and we will not enter the airport carrying a firearm case. Put it in our check bag. We get to the airport, go straight to the desk. We're not going to the kiosk. We're going to the desk. We're going to inform the person at the desk, I have a firearm to declare. That individual is going to want to check the firearm. They may go super in depth. They may just want to look at the case. Let them tell you what they want. At that point, you're going to fill out your declaration form. Make sure the declaration form is placed with the firearm. At that point, you're going to go to TSA check. You may have to accompany the bag. Sometimes you won't. Either way, your bag is definitely going to be checked by TSA. Once you clear the TSA check, your bag's going to go into the airplane. You're going to go on the airplane. You're going to take your flight. You're going to get to your destination. At that point, your bag's going to come down the carousel and baggage claim just like everyone else. Grab your bag, exit the airport. Don't go in the bag. Don't pull the case out, especially not while still on airport property. If you do those things, you will be good. Oh, and remember, 11-pound max for ammunition. No more than 11 pounds of ammo. Cool? Peace.